If syllabus is small, this is as much as I read in 4 years in my graduation and first year of post-graduation. How come it be small? If it is scoring, then either everybody should take ANTHRO or all the people who qualify should be with ANTHRO. So, it's interesting. How do you know? You read? Where? From where? My book is too boring. See, we always start with chapter 4 of my book because first 3 chapters you cannot understand. The reason is when you start with a new subject, in the introduction itself, you have to discuss whole of the terminology that you'll be discussing in subsequent chapters. If we start with introduction, it will take 7 days to complete. But once we have taken up social and the major part of physical and then we take up, it takes only 2 hours to finish. So in the beginning, how can you understand terminology? Overruled. Any other reason? Pardon? Sarabjit, why should you
Yes, sir.
take why should you take Anthro?
Because in anthropology we read about human beings and their social interactions.
Then you can take socio.
No, but in scientific manner we learn about.
You can take economics, you can take political science, you can take medical science.
But in so I'm not talking about their political aspects and social aspect. In this in anthropology we learn their biological terms.
Anyway, in between the voice was gone. Can you please repeat?
In anthropology we learn the biological aspect of human beings, but in political science we learn about the political aspects,
Do
and
you
in
have
sociology we learn about only.
do you have background in biological sciences?
No, but I have interest.
Even if those who have background, many of you say that we had taken up biology in +2. My major grievance with your generation as a whole is that what you study yesterday you forget today. So how much you remember of biology that you read 4 years or 5 years or 6 years before? Hmm? I mean, you could take up Anthro only if you had scanned through 4, 5, 6 subjects and then decided. Or one topper said, choose that who qualified in 5th attempt, Shetty. But he took Anthro in 5th attempt. Means he realized that Anthro is interesting in 5th attempt. Before that, he had bad political science, geography, every other subject. And somebody who qualifies in 5th attempt, he doesn't deserve to be an IS that way. So,
Namaste, sir. Good evening.
yes, sir.
Sir, I'm being very honest with you. Sir, preparing and learning under your guidance, where you are having a very vast experience in the field of anthropological studies, I thought that will fetch me a lot, sir.
That way, you should have gone to Vajiram or Rouse. Before us, there were 2 institutes. There were 2 great experts in civil services. One was Rao and one was Mr. Vilaytham. They started together. They were in railway service and in job only they started the institute Rao's IAS in 1951. And they started in a garage in Connaught Place and took proper place in 1953. So wherever you find Rao's, it is written 53 only. They don't start with 51. Rao himself was a great expert in history, and Vilaytham was a great expert in political science and international relations. So they were much older than myself. So you should have thought about that. Again overruled. Any other reason? Yes, sir. So you have so many social sciences with you. Why Anthro? That you can understand after becoming IS also. Why to take up a subject like that? See, let me tell you, most of you, before deciding about Anthro, I wonder if you had heard the name of Anthro. And even if those who had heard the name of Anthro, I wonder if they knew the spellings of Anthro. So, availability of guidance is there, material is, everything is there. Then there are 10 more institutes where anthropology is taught. So everywhere guidance is available. That means you join a coaching for guidance. Guidance is available on Telegram. All these lectures of most other institutes, these are available on Telegram. Actually, you join an institute, you join coaching, whether it is optional or GS, to improve your chances of success. I said in the seminar also. And how will you improve? Through rigorous answer writing and evaluation. And if this facility is not available anywhere, that is no coaching. They are teaching only. Hmm? Of course, I mean I can give you one reason is that once you are at Vaids, you are always at Vaids. Anytime you can trouble me, early morning to late evening. Anytime you can clear your doubts. Anytime you can repeat your classes. Anytime you can repeat your test series. Anytime you can join time bound answer writing program. And when you qualify finally in the IAS, IPS, IFS general category, the fee is returned back also. So where is the fee? First thing. And second thing, I don't know whether I should be proud of or not, that all your paper setters and examiners, they are my juniors. So I know how much they can fly. I train you that much only. What happens in general, in classes, any particular topic, even in general studies, they'll take 2.5 hours to finish one topic. There may be only two questions. If you have a dictation of say 1,000 words, but you have to write 150, how will you arrive at those 150? Means you need another coaching. And I'm reminded of there are certain people who are joining coaching even for reading newspaper or even for NCRT. My contention is that if you need coaching for these things also, better leave UPSC. Do better things in life. My first sentence in the class is, if you want to go to heavens, you will have to die yourself. I'll just tell you the way how to go to heavens. Heaven means success. Die means hard work. Hmm? You have to work hard. Obviously, I get the credit for your success. That's different. But ultimately, it's your labor. I just invest in how to labor in proper direction within stipulated time, because any exam is a time management. How many of you are appearing in 25? A large number. Anybody can give reason? Yes, sir. In April, this April, what have you covered so far? Name the topics. Section, which section you are confident about? Pardon? From April to now. That means by April you will finish your GS. Then, anybody else? आप बताओ. You are appearing in 25? Why? See, there are two things. Firstly, what you have studied, and second is what do you know. I'm asking the second thing. As far as studies is concerned, you go through all the social sciences, there is nothing that you cannot understand. UPSC is not interested in what you understand, what you can vomit in those 3 hours. That will decide your success. So, what do you know in GS that you tell me? And when I ask, let me tell, it means I'll ask you the questions also. If you have not remembered things, it means you are a beginner. Hmm? I told you those 3 hours will matter. So I'll advise it takes, if you are sincerely doing only GS means nothing else, it takes 6 to 7 months to complete it. And it takes about 5 months in preparing GS in Anthro optional. We finish in 4 months, but because during the classes you have to write something like about 270 to 280 words answers, not possible. You take another month. So it takes about 5 months. Antim sir will tell you how we proceed with answer writing. So that means one full year you have to take for general studies and of the mains only. How many of you are ready partly even? Means you know the things. Those who raise the hand, I'm asking all of you. Online also. Nobody? See, most of you have not seen the seminar that we had on 17th of July. I made it very clear that do not take more than 2 attempts. And first attempt should be your best attempt. If you think you have to appear in 25, by 31st of January, you should be ready with your mains, which I think is literally impossible. By 1st of January, you will understand that you are not going to finish by 31st of January. Postpone your attempt. Just a minute, let me finish. Then keep a target that by 31st of July or so, you finish with your mains preparation. We will finish in December, and that by 6 or 7 months, I told you that will be July. Finish with that. Thereafter, appear in the mains test series. In November, December, we'll have Anthro test series, and then there will be time for prelims. Make it and finish. But because first attempt is first attempt, there may be some unforeseen errors. Some mistakes may be there which you didn't intend. So keep another attempt. If you already have given your best, what are you going to do in the subsequent attempts? You are wasting your time. This time, our third ranker, Ananya, she took coaching in 2020. And this was 23 was her first attempt. So what do you learn? Okay, tell me what is the difference between a human and an animal? That will show you the way. Animals are not rational and all humans are rational. What is happening in Bangladesh is rational. What is happening in Ukraine and all those Hamas and all those things is rational. Man is the most irrational being, and particularly the literate people, because they can justify their wrongs also. You must have read a story, or even if you have not read, I tell you, there was an old man sitting at the gate of his house. In one hand, he had chapati, in the other hand, he had a stick. A dog was watching. He called the dog. Dog came, hit him with a stick. The dog ran away. Again called him. Again hit him. Again ran away. Third time called, the dog didn't come. Another dog was watching. Called him, and the dog came. Now tell me, what is the difference? Animals learn from their own experiences. Human beings learn from others' experiences. Hmm? You don't have to fail to understand. You can learn from the failure of others. Fine. So, right from day, I mean, most of you, even if you had done your coaching in GS 1 year ago or 2 year ago, I doubt whether you are confident at all in any of the sections. That means still you are a beginner only. And in that seminar, I suggested that start with geography. Geography is one subject of which you do not have good teachers at school level. So you do not have interest, most of you, when you start with civil service. But when you listen to the lecture of the teachers, I won't call them coaches, they are not coaches. What is the role of a coach? Say, for example, when you are playing national, UPSC is national. So when you are playing national final in hockey and when you have entered the D, coach is not going to tell you where to hit. If you miss, going to hit you at your ankle. That is the job of the coach. So start with geography, and I told you nowhere in any institute you have that answer writing and evaluation, and even if it is there, people like you only are the evaluators. 7 of my students who have never appeared in prelims, they evaluate copy of mains in the most famous institutes. If you have joined or if you have joined a test series, look at how the marking pattern is there. If you have written your best answer out of 10, they'll take mark 4. 4 comments will be there, 4 type of limitations will be there, and 4 by 10 will be the marks. That is not the way to evaluate. So lectures are there on Telegram channel, and everybody can tell you, and Antim sir will tell you better, and other students also in the institute. Start with geography, watch a video, any particular expert. All teachers are good. I told you they are teachers, and teachers are always good in communication. Watch it, convert into points while watching. Additional source, NCRT or Leong and Morgan or whatever you have, insert and mug it up. Before you go to bed, you should have the confidence that whatever you have done has entered your mind. If it has not, you have not prepared at all. And if you are doing geography alone, it may take about 2 months if you are doing it thoroughly. But once you are good at geography, then internal security, disaster management, climate change, all the three combined may not take more than 45 days. Once you are good at geography, half the economy you have covered. In economy, you have trade, industry, agriculture, population planning, resources. You read in more details in geography. So fundamentals of geography and current geography. And meanwhile, which newspaper you read? Hindu. Why? It's written at the top, meant for UPSC. Then I'll tell you the reason. There are two reasons. All institutes recommend Hindu. You know why do they? Because advertisement is very cheap. The advertisement which costs 1,000 rupees in Hindu costs 48,500 in Times of India. So do you think institutes are fools? And second is, you read Hindu, you will give your interview. First question will be which newspaper you read. You will write the Hindu. Anybody who reads the interview will start reading. I have an advice. We have a channel. Whether you are serious or not in this attempt, which I'm sure you must not be, because you know our last batch when we started, 90% of the students they wanted to appear in 25. But when they realize how much labor is to be there invested, batch is yet to be over. Another 2 3 classes are there. Hardly only 10 people are left who are going to appear in 25 because they had appeared previously also. So some inputs were already there. Fine. So economics hardly take 1 month or so because currents we have to continue with. Even many issues in history are related to geography. Only polity is one thing which is besides. So if you are doing like that, it will take about 6 to 7 months. And when you tell me next time that you have, say, let us say you have covered modern India, it means I can ask you anything from modern India and you should be able to respond. Now, how many of you want to appear in 25? You appeared previously? How much you scored in prelims? This time, how much you think you will score? See, if you are serious with Anthro in these 4 months to 5 months, by the time you are ready with your Anthro, whatever you had known in general studies, half the things you will forget. Then, issue is not, I'm not doubting your caliber. Time available is limited. I told you by 1st of January, you will realize that you can complete by 31st of January or not. And if you cannot, postpone. I tell you the reason. Let us say you appear in prelims. Last 3 or 4 months, you will be studying for prelims. Without thorough preparation of mains, you can make up only 70 or more score. You cannot do more than that. So most likely you will fail. Again, you will prepare for prelims, mains. Again in 26, you are preparing for prelims. You are qualifying on the basis of your preparation of 26. How will Chitragupta ji will account for your preparation of 25 prelims? And this would be the time, if you were serious about mains, you would have made solidified your mains for 26. That means 26 also you have threatened by devoting these 4 months for prelims. Or let us say you qualify the prelims because you are not ready with the mains, definitely you will plug. After you fail in mains, there is a time to start with prelims. Again, you will qualify prelims, you won't have time for mains. That way you will exhaust all your attempts till you say, I did work very hard, luck was not there. It's not a question of luck, it's a question of strategy. So be wise, learn from others' experiences. Fine? And everybody will tell you everything else. There are certain things they don't tell, like polity. कौन है polity वाला? Lakshmikant. There is a series of Rajya Sabha TV, The Making of Samvidhan, and no institute tells you about that. If you are interested in the films in India, the best director has been Satyajit Ray, and second best has been Shyam Benegal. Shyam Benegal is the director of that series. You can know the quality from the name itself. The Making of Samvidhan itself tells you. And no question in polity is without background, and that will be the best background you will have. Second thing is, all the national leaders, whatever they have said, you can use as quotes in your essay. And thirdly, many of the reasons you can get to improvise your ethics also. So if you say that I have marked up Lakshmikant, but I have not watched those series, I'll say you know nothing about. Saji? Fine? Then, if you are preparing for, say, 26, I told you our Telegram channel, Vaids ICS official, it is only for mains. All currents with respect to mains are covered. And you read either Hindu or Express. From Express explained only, Hindu has borrowed that column in last few months only. Otherwise, I start with two Hindi newspapers, Hindustan and Navbharat Times. Then I read Hindu, then Indian Express, then Morning Standard, then Times of India, then Business Standard, then Economic Times, then Statesman, then Tribune, and then Hindustan Times. You take 2 hours or more to read one newspaper, I finish 1.5 hours. I told you I was a journalist before I started. For 5 years I was a journalist, then I decided Naukri is Chakri. So I left it. So for means you can rely on that. And if you are appearing in 26, from January 25, you start with your mains preparation. Current affairs I'm talking about. Most of it will be a backgrounder only. But and if you are appearing in again 26, prelims preparation, current affairs you start with May 25. Till that time, you can finish with your optional, you can finish with your history, geography, economy, polity, at least that much. So in the classes, most of it will be monologue. This has to be a dialogue class. You raise your questions. Anybody? Any question? I'll tell you about how we are going to proceed with. And the first section we will be taking up marriage, family, kinship, economy, polity, religion. I'll tell you the terminology of all this section also, so that today onwards you start your serious preparation. Presently, I'm here to clear the doubts if you have. Science says start with doubt and end up with certainty. If you have no doubts, then you are a believer. Yes, sir, Sarjeet.
Sir, please tell us that how we can, मतलब class में देते हैं.
Your voice break in between. Please repeat.
बोल रहे हैं सर कि हम लोग क्लास में कैसे पढ़ेंगे, मतलब आप लेक्चर. हेलो.
I had a femur here. I would have told you how to read. You know what is femur?
यस सर.
I keep a femur with me. Tell me last time when your father castigated you.
Pardon sir.
पिताजी ने कब डांटा था पिछली बार? I told you I'm your coach. I'm not your teacher. Initially, I'll be asking you to write and write and write. And if you don't start writing in 15 days, I stop asking you. It simply means that you are preparing yourself for 27 or 28. On day one only, I'll give you a list of say about 40 to 45 questions that you have to prepare in the coming month. The way we keep finishing, you have to keep writing. How you have to do, Antim sir will tell you how we make groups, how they evaluate themselves, how the answer goes to the counselor, and finally it comes to me. And once I say that it is final, means it is worth at least 60% marks. Done. And if you don't, I'll say thank you. So there are I thank everybody who joins us. Firstly are those who work hard. So we thank them because they give us result. They bring us good name. Then majority are those who don't work hard. I thank them more because the institute runs with their money. If everybody becomes IAS and I have to return fee to everybody, we are not going to admit more than 100 students. Then, so I'll thank everybody. It depends on you how you want to seek my thanks. Are we going to start with marriage from today? Not from today, sir. I'll give you the terminology that we will use for this section: marriage, family, kinship, economy, polity, religion. For the next 1 month or so, that will be covering. And meanwhile, Yadavji, our technical expert, he is not today, he is not well. He'll upload the video on definition of marriage. That is intro class actually. We will be starting with that. And all the questions in sequence that I'll give you, you will have to read whole of it. But specific questions we will take up, and not only what is there in your syllabus. Say, for example, you are taking up marriage. Do you think the topic of marriage will be completed without talking about divorce? But divorce is not a part of your syllabus, but it is there in social issues. What PM said yesterday? secular civil code. What is your comment? Anybody? Nobody? You don't bother what your PM says? Online, anybody?
He said one nation for.
Social issues. Yes, sir.
He said one nation, one elections. Civil
I'm
code will be
talking about
implemented.
that civil code. What is your view about it? And secondly, tell me, should PM talk or should PM act? We should talk. His job is not to talk. If in the 11th year he says he got to be there, what was he doing in all the 10 years? Forget about it. But the issue will be important from social issues point of view and even in your essay.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, India is a diverse country having a
So,
lot of languages, caste, religion, and
so
even in states we have no uniform criminal laws. So perhaps in limited way, if we perform civil laws in uniform way, then it would be good, I think. Like making uniform everything is relatively difficult in such a diverse country.
my dear sir, you have civil laws and you have criminal laws. If you have common
Yes, sir.
criminal laws, why not common civil laws?
Sir, civil laws means interfering in the customs and perhaps in the
Criminal
society and
also should be in
religion
the
of
same
some
way
others
only.
directly. But sir, some laws are different, I think.
What different?
Hello.
Criminal laws also are different, but you are
Sir,
imposing.
actually in some states perhaps criminal laws are
And
different.
that
I have
becomes a
it
political
somewhere.
issue. I told you this will be asked in social issues, or this may be asked in essay. How do you respond?
So in the case of the civil laws, already tribals have been given an exception, and even the major political parties and even the ruling government has said that the tribals will be given an exception. So if they are being given an exception, why not others also?
If tribals are given exception, why not others?
Yes, sir.
How do you equate tribals with others?
No, sir. I'm saying that in terms of religious laws or civil laws they are following, so
Well,
we
if I
already
say
have different codes. We already have different codes.
if I say there are no tribals in India, then what will be your response?
So, but there are tribals in India.
How do you know? Can you characterize whom to call a tribal?
So they are mostly classified on the basis of the census as this is
Census
what
is
you have.
different. What criteria you choose? The term tribal was created by colonial people to denote those communities who had very exotic kinds of customs and traditions in South America, in New Guinea, in Australia. That terminology was imposed on us, and anthropologists became busy in classifying people into tribals. We denounced the category of tribals in anthropology in 1970s, and still we are talking about them. It is just because in constitution you have the category scheduled tribe. Your schedule has given them the status of that. That's why we are talking about. Tomorrow, law is found that you become an ST, so you will be an ST. So, do you become a tribe? We know we have no. There were some only head hunting was there amongst Nagas that you can call exotic. Otherwise, nowhere. Last year we had a world conference in Bhubaneswar, and I had a full independent session. Name of the session was denouncing colonial constructs, caste and tribe. Caste has been imposed on us by the tribals, by the British. Tribe has been imposed on us by the British. And unnecessarily we are fighting in terms of caste and tribe. These are outdated concepts. Let's finish with it. a major cause of conflict will be gone. But politics, that is the issue. Like I've been recommending that you say that 50% reservation has to be there, let it be 50%. There are a large number of people who claim to be ST status, but they are much better off. Like I don't know whether you watch our videos channel or not. One is there Vaids ICS. There is another one, Vaids Nai Baat Nai Shuruat, and nobody watches that. But I enjoy making videos for that. I recommended one suggestion that you say SCs are poor, STs are poor. A few months ago, a survey was there that upper castes of Bihar are poorer than the lower castes of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. How you justify it? That means poverty should be the criteria for reservation. But you know, we Indians are jugadu. We'll have the certificate of poor. Only way out is that we have schools. 70% schools are government run schools, ordinary schools, not Pratibha talent schools. And 30% are private schools. You will send your ward to government school only if you have nothing to invest in. The fee of public schools is too much. Today only there's a news that in one of the KG classes, the fee has been raised to around 3 lakh per year.
3.5.
So those who send their wards to government school are those who don't earn properly. So why not to give reservation to the children who have passed through the government schools? Most of them will be SC, STs only. But then some others will also be there. They are also equally deserving. Why I'm telling you? In general studies, again I had a video. In GS, if you are scoring 110 in one paper, people say it's a very good score. But even if you have 130, 135 in general in optional in one paper, you say it's not a good score. Does it mean that UPSC is partial towards optionals? How can it be? Till 2001, 2002, people used to score up to 450 out of 600. And now people don't score even out of 1000. So is it a fault of UPSC? It's the fault of all the trainers where from you gain. Because the emphasis is on facts, not critics. That's why I was asking you about divorce. I wanted you to open up. Actually, during the classes, we always say that you have to be ready with your mains before you think about prelims. And even in terms of interview, during the classes only, I make you ready for two things. One is body language and one is dialogue delivery. So unless you speak out, how can I identify? Got it? So if I ask you again about divorce, what is your view? Forget about SC, SC and all those things. There is nobody, all are Indians. Then pardon? Understanding marriage. That way, you will never reach at a conclusion. Among Hindus, it's a sacrament. Everywhere else, it's a contract. So there can be no unanimity. But always, while you talk about general studies and whenever you talk about problems, always remember that it is the weaker sections who suffer the most. And even within the weaker sections, women and children suffer the most. So any law that has to be there, you must promote those laws which are in favor of women and children. And if you start thinking in those lines, you will have a better reason for what kind of divorce and what kind of compensation should be there. One thing, let me tell you, 25% people in your generation, as per National Family Health Survey 5, 25% of your generation, boys and girls both, they don't intend to marry. Hmm? You belong to your generation, you should know better. Hmm? You got to have a reason. Why should you marry? Okay. Because you don't know Indian philosophy. That is the problem. Irony is that most of the Sanatanis, they don't know about their dharma. They do just for the sake of doing. Whether you should have idol worship or you should not have, what is the concept of God, what is the concept of karma, what is the concept of dharma. These are the basic things everybody should. Other, they know, they call them their religions. When I say religion, I mean Abrahamic religions. Hmm? And Sanatana is no religion. And one thing, let me tell you, you know our philosophy. India became independent when? You know it. Did Pakistan become independent? Pakistan was born. Did Bangladesh become independent? It was born. And basic Indian philosophy is that anybody who is born has to die. Your gods also, your avatars, they all of them, they died. So you know the future of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Hmm? Many things which I say in joke can be helpful in your essay also. In the class also, if I'm joking, seriously joking, it may not be of use, otherwise anything will be important. Fine? Okay, ask now. I think I prompted you enough. Why you want to become ISO? Yes. No reason. No reason. What is it? Yes, ma'am, आप बताओ. Welfare of society. You join an NGO. You can have your own NGO. Huh? Yeah, you can have an international NGO. Or you join a UNICEF, you join UN organizations, international NGOs will be there. Forever means you want stability in life. You want power, you want stability, you want status. Come out openly. See, actually, there are people who tell me that this is my lifetime ambition to become IAS. My question is, why are you committing suicide thereafter? If you have your lifetime achievement fulfilled, then you have no right to live thereafter. Becoming IAS should be a stage where your dreams, your ambitions, you should fulfill. I'm asking about those only. Why you want to? You got to have some ambition, you got to have some dreams. Hmm? You want to work for the people, you can do other ways also. Don't you think I'm working for the people? No reason. आप बताओ सर, why you want to become IAS? हाँ. Okay, you get power. Thereafter, what will you do? Anybody can implement. 10th pass can implement. What is the problem? And if you do that, there will be no consequences. Then positive term is very subjective. Whatever you call positive may be negative for others. Then be sure in your vision. You are at a stage and you are in a country where you country needs you and needs you in a way that for the betterment of the people. When you get into a job, you are a civil servant, not the master. But when you become, you think you are the master, and that is the irony of the country. Hardly about 10 to 15% people are there who are genuinely interested in the work. Others are there. File comes from the top, you sign and push down. Comes from the bottom, you sign and push up. The job is done. If that for that you want to become IAS, that way anybody can be. You do better things in life.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, I have a doubt. Recently, Supreme Court passed a verdict for classification of SCs and ST, and ruling and opposition parties are producing a stance that they will not implement it. So, sir,
Hmm.
isn't it come
Even
under
your
contempt
PM
of
has
court?
said that they are not going to have it because it's not there in the constitution. Why you say opposition?
Yes,
That
yes,
means
sir. Both of them.
You are a Modiite.
No, no, sir. I said ruling and opposition party both. They are
Huh.
not producing a stand that they will obey it. So, sir, isn't it come under contempt of court?
No, it does not. Let me tell you, there was a time when just speaking against Supreme Court or a particular judge would throw you in the prison. Now
Yes, sir.
things are not like that. In my videos, I've been telling that all these judges they should be trained in social sciences, particularly anthropology, right from their school.
Okay, sir.
Even if that is there, how it is going to make a difference? You tell me. I made a video, I think it is there on our channel. I said it very clearly. Economy is family based, economy is not caste based. So, how can you have reservation for creamy layer, remove this, remove that? That is going to improve some families or not. So, issue should be family. Why caste or why tribe? Again, I'm coming
Okay.
back to that reservation for school going, government school going children. That is family based.
Sir, I
What?
have one more doubt.
Firstly, where are the jobs? Secondly, how many people will benefit? Hmm? And I said in the video, you are talking about SCs and STs, but if you watch all the TV channels or social media channels, they never talked about STs. They always talked about SCs only. In newspapers also, it was SCs only, as if STs don't exist.
Okay, sir.
How much the government is serious about STs, you just know from the fact you have a Ministry of Tribal Affairs. You know how many people are there, right from secretary up to PM? Not even 80. Less than 80 people cater to the needs of almost 9.5% population. So this is the state of affairs. And in PMO, more than 700 bureaucrats are there. Only bureaucrats. Hmm? Nobody is interested in development. It's all politics. India growing at this rate, India growing at that rate. Anytime the government changes, the way the scams will come out, that will increase your GS burden. Condition is very bad actually. You have statistician, chief statistician in the government. Both of them resigned 3 years ago. Till date, you don't have a statistician. All the ministries have remained the same because if somebody else would come, he would know the reality of the ministry. He would expose. So onus lies on you people when you get into bureaucracy. It's not only issue of following the norms. It's an issue how you can bring development to the bottommost people. What Gandhiji said, the person standing at the lowest ladder. And no attempt has been made. Just think about PVTGs are there. We discuss in answer particularly vulnerable tribal groups. In the budget of last year, means 16, 17 months ago, they kept a sum of 20,000 crore rupees for the upliftment of PVTGs. And till date, they have not been able to even count the number of PVTGs. If they had given the jobs to anthropologists, they would have done in 1 month. So how serious the government is about? You, when you are at the helm, you will decide. If you do something and people send you to a post where remote area, you think it's a punishment posting. More the isolated area, greater are the chances of working. Greater is the power that you hold, greater are the funds that you hold, greater is the opportunity to serve the people.
Sir, hello.
I think you have heard Karandeep. Karandeep says that we start with a very simple topic. He says thinkers are difficult, so we start with thinkers. For me, thinkers are so easy that I have given it to Antim sir to take up thinkers. And the first issue that we'll take up, the definition of marriage. Anybody in this, not only coaching, but even in the departments of anthropology, if they have ever explained that way, I'll be his fan or her fan. Actually, institutions, these are the way to generate interest in you about the subject. We can start with physical anthropology also, but most of you do not have background in bio. Once you are, how we do, we start with these institutions, then we take up some topics of physical, evolution, genetics, fossils and primates. Then we take up, start from the beginning, what is anthropology and what are various branches. Then we take up thinkers. Then we cover rest of the paper one, and then we switch to paper two. I have evolved this method over a period of time. How you can understand better and how you can give me results. You may know anthropology or not, but give me results, that is all. And I don't want you to know anthropology. Anthropology is too vast a discipline. You think syllabus is small. There is a very famous saying, there is an anthropologist, Murray Last. He has said anthropology has become too vast to be left to anthropologists alone. I say anthropology is a way of life. Like, all of us are meeting today, and you take it from me. By the time we finish our classes, I'll ask you, do you find any change in yourself? I doubt nobody will say no. You would have changed. Many will have significant, others will have some change. And in that sense, consider your Constituent Assembly. 299 people sitting together, all of them law experts. They'll have same thoughts. They have same school. And everything is borrowed. Scotland and Ireland and Britain and US and 1935 Act. What is Indian in Indian Constitution? Can you tell me? What is Indian in Indian Constitution?
The amendments made after 1947.
Pardon?
The amendments made after 1947, those are only indigenous.
No, even they are opportunistic. In US, in first 100 years, only 2 amendments were there. And you have not even finished your 80th year, and you have 100 plus. So what is Indian in Indian Constitution? Pardon? Not force, you can say 70-30 is there. Then PESA can be there, extension of that.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Antim. I am Associate Director at Vaids, and I'll be taking the portion of anthropological theories and a few other tidbits whenever sir requests. Okay. Uh, so, first of all, everyone, welcome to Vaids. You're now a part of Vaids family, and when it comes to family, there is no bargains. Whenever you need anything, you can just reach out to me, give me a call straight away. Hmm? कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो, be it study related, be it personal, be it someone is following you, even if your landlord is pissing you off, all that thing I'll be happy to address. Okay. So first of all, take down my number. Okay. Secondly, who all are not a part of the WhatsApp group yet and have completed the admission formalities, please text me on WhatsApp. I'll get you added. Just send me your full name and on the day that you completed admission formalities. That will be sufficient. Okay. There are few of you who are yet to complete the admission formalities, but we made this intro class open for all, and many of you have joined through online. So if you have any queries, you may reach out to me, or you can also reach out to Anuj sir. His number is so. In case I am not available for anything, you can reach out to him. Okay. And those of you who are a part of WhatsApp group, how many of you have filled the Google form that I shared? Most of you did not bother to click on read more and go through the entire message, huh? I'll be sending that message once again. Kindly expand the message and read it thoroughly. Okay. So the schedule for your batch is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and 2 to 4:30 is the timing. If depending on the ongoing topic, we may extend by 15-20 minutes or maybe end a little early too. Okay. Then coming to about answer writing groups. I'll give you a brief on how we do answer writing, and in detail we'll talk once the groups are formed. Hmm? Groups will be formed by your second class. Okay. So please make sure you fill that Google form that I have shared in the group. I have asked a lot of information there from where I'll be able to create the groupings. Okay. So please do that. Just to give you a hint of answer writing, how we do. We divide you in groups depending on the strength of the batch, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, and you are supposed to write the answers. So during the first class, we'll be taking the basics only, and we'll be covering only one question: definition of marriage. Okay. And that will be pretty much dictated to you and need not rewrite again. Okay. So in the second class, you will have around 4 or 5 questions that will be covered. And if you are 7 people in the group, what you can do, 10 markers people can take up individually, and 20 markers, two of you can take up. You write the answers individually only. It's not that 2 people are collaborating and writing the answers. Individually, everyone will be writing their answers. If it's a 20 marker, 2 people can take up. So you have two versions of the answer. Depending on your perspective, your understanding, your articulation skills, you will be writing the answer in a different manner. Okay, the approach will be somewhat your original. Obviously, you will be following, sir, but parts of it will be your own creativity. आप खड़े हैं क्या? आ जाओ. Please make a note that you reach the class 15 minutes early. ठीक है? Sir is never late. फिर बाद में आप आएंगे और औरों को बोलेंगे तुम अंदर सर को. That is not, not the right spirit. Okay. Where was I? So answer writing. ठीक है? Now, once you are done with the answer writing, you will be sending the answer in your local answer writing group. That is for 7 to 8 people, not the official one. Okay. You will send the answer. Now, suppose me, Anuj, and Naman are in a answer writing group, and Anuj submits an answer on definition of marriage. He started the definition, the answer from notes and queries definition. Let's say these are a little technical words. If you're not familiar, don't worry. You will be after we are done with the first class. So he started the definition with say the definition of marriage provided in the book Notes and Queries. I suggested that notes and queries definition is very common. Better will be to start with the definition from Beals and Heuser. Beals and Heuser are two anthropologists who have written a very famous book. Not a many famous books rather. So I suggested that. He felt that my feedback is relevant and accordingly added. Again, Raman said that you should also add the definition by Wildoran. He weighed Wildoran is favorable or Bilson Heuser is favorable. He found that Bilson Heuser is favorable. He added the definition. But on the back of the answer, both the comments will be mentioned. That way only, as evaluators, will be able to understand how others who have not written that particular answer have comprehended to that topic. Okay? So this is the way you will do it on your own. According to the feedbacks you receive internally in your group, you will improvise the answer, and then each group will be assigned a mentor. You will submit the answers to the mentor. Okay. Once mentors give you a review of your answers, then you are supposed to show the answers to Vaids. We have put this process knowingly in place because you all are well aware that people are scared सर से डांट जो पड़ती है उससे, ठीक है. So we have placed this mechanism in place so that you don't directly approach. So you are more than welcome to approach, but फिर तुम you're on your own, ठीक है. If he chooses to block you for 1 week, that's on you. And anyway, so that is why I advise you go through the channel. At least once you should reach a level of maturity before you show your answers to Vaids. Okay. So this is the way we'll be practicing answer writing. Answer writing groups will be made after the first class. Right. Now, second is our app. I have given the link for the app in all your groups, and you must rather download the app because the Sunday replay will be available only in the app. Okay, you can just download it and fill the number with which you register in the app in that Google form particularly, and you will be getting the access. I'll be sharing a video in your WhatsApp group shortly on how you will be able to use the app. Okay, online people will be attending all the classes through the app only. God forbid if any Zoom issue or some crazy server issues there, then we share Zoom link also. Or if someone's device is behaving in a manner that the app is not responding, but you should not make a habit out of it because that is done on a personal basis. And when the class is about to start, everyone is occupied otherwise. You call, sir, mere ko link chahiye, and I'm not able to respond because I am otherwise occupied. Maybe I'm checking answers or something. Then it will be a problem. So I suggest that you always make sure that your app is working properly. Okay. Then about the study material. For first 7 to 8 classes, your source will be Vaids' book, that is Socio-Cultural Anthropology in Search of Ourselves. Okay. And we'll be start shipping the study material to online people through the after the 1 week of completion of classes. The material will be shipped to you. And offline people, you will be told when to collect the study material from the institute itself during the class. For online people, will be shipping the study material in 2 parts, for paper 1 and for paper 2. Okay. Couple of friendly advices for the students who attend online. Firstly, please get a headphone mic for yourself. Okay. Because I have seen many times that people don't use the speaker of your phone. And whenever you want to speak, you will pick up the phone, sir. What is this? Is my query. It becomes very odd, and no, suddenly the whole class echoes yeah, no, with your voice. So I suggest you get a headphone mic. अगर लंबा time you are not favorable with the in-ear ones, get the over-ear ones. They are more comfortable. And one another important advice: please avoid having a light source right behind you. If that is the case, I see you as a avatar of a god who is attending our class. Just a silhouette appears, defeats the purpose of the virtual class. Okay? You always have to keep your camera on. If any emergency situation is there and you have to switch off your camera, please send a message in the comment box to the admin who is administrating the class that I need to switch off camera for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or any other issues that you can just uh, put in the comment box or text me separately. Okay? Then I want to repeat it once again. Sir have already said that when I welcome you to the family, I mean it. We are there with you till you qualify. Okay. When I say qualify, that doesn't mean whether you are appearing this year, next year, next to next year, anytime. The coaching you will be able to do in this batch. Answer writing, I keep my fingers crossed that all of you are able to do in the 4 months period. Sometimes people do uh, miss it, as I'll say. Okay, ये खासकर this particular batch with Diwali in between. Post Diwali, people lose their enthusiasm. So something I want to give you a heads up for that दिवाली से डिस्टर्ब मत होने दो अपना जोश, ठीक है, and keep on pushing. Okay, and then what is else? Any queries you may have, you may ask how the operations of classes will be. Someone asked whether we can attend the class on laptop. No, you cannot. Okay, the classes access is limited to mobile and tablet devices, iOS and Android only. Okay? And the classes are live. And if you have any network issue or you end up missing any class, then we on Sunday will have the replay of week's classes, just like you have a replay of a cricket match. The schedule is shared by Santosh sir on WhatsApp on Sunday, on a day before, that is Saturday. Okay. Then
So will there be a class tomorrow?
no, there won't be a class tomorrow. For that, there is one reason. You all are aware of the unfortunate happening in this Nagar region. Because of that, a lot of students were displaced. Okay, so we are delaying the first class by a week, so that those who are not able to take admission because of the ongoing chaos will be able to join. Meanwhile, I recommend you to read Vaids's book. Skip first 3 chapters and read chapter 4 to chapter 9. Chapter 4 to chapter 9 you read thoroughly. When I say thoroughly, you will find a couple, not a couple, rather 3 to 4 definitions you will find. You should be able to memorize them, and at least a few of the examples you should be able to recall. Okay. The examples are many. I cannot accept them to remember all, but at least a few of them you should recall. Like whenever sir asks in class, say, tell me about a group that is matrilineal. So immediately you should be able to say that Toda is an okay, or Nair or any tribe you can recall, right?
So, sir, the class would be from next to next Tuesday.
The exact date I'll text you. I have to see the calendar just once. Most likely that only. Okay. Did you guys observe that the way sir teaches, it's quite different from what you usually expect from a teacher in your college, in your school, or in any other coaching even? Huh? So there are a few tips I'll give you so that you can make the best out of it. First is, uh, you divide your sheet on which you are writing into two parts. Say 20% or so, draw a line, 20-25% at the bottom. And anything sir tells, like he was giving you a few example today, uh, some quotes also, that you feel that it's not in direct relation with anthropology, particularly Myra's topic that was supposed to, you were expecting that will be taught today. So you write those things at the bottom, and fortnightly, every 15 days, you compile them accordingly. They will be very, very helpful for essay, for social issues. Okay? Like often you will get many worthy quotes that you can reuse here. Okay? Many examples, like you just got a reference of this, what is the making of Samvidhan? A brilliant thing to watch. Why? If, for example, you get a question on women reservation. Was women reservation picked up in the Constituent Assembly? Yes. Who said yes? Can anybody? Can you tell me who raised this topic and why was it not addressed then? Have you seen this Samvidhan? Okay, that's why you know. Okay. In the serial itself, it's a brilliantly directed serial. You will be seeing yourself that there was an argument between Rajkumari Amrit Kaur and Mr. Iyengar on that particular topic. If you just mention this small thing in your answer, you get an edge over the other students, and that edge gives you at least half a mark benefit, could be even 1 mark benefit. And such benefit, if you have in say 10 questions, you are excelling over other students. Okay? So please make note of these small things. They will take you forward a long way. Okay? Secondly, stop writing on rule sheets. Stop. From today only, you should start writing on these plain sheets. And that too with UPSC specifications. From this day only, you should be able to know what is your speed. And accordingly, you will be able to decide your word limit for every answer. What is the word limit and what is the speed limit? Is there any difference? Obviously, there is. But your speed limit will decide how many words you can write in the answer. Okay. The maximum word limit is marks into 20. If you have a 10 marker, the maximum word limit is 200. But not all of you will be able to write 200 words. And the exam also encourages you to write precisely. Who can save words, you will be awarded. So you just go home, memorize say 400, 500 words, एकदम रट्टा मार लो उसका और उसको स्पीड में पूरा लिख के देखो. You will get to know कि तुम कितने टाइम में लिख पाते हो. What you write in 15 minutes is your words speed. Half of that you will take in 10 minutes. Let's say I am writing and I write say 340 words in 15 minutes. So that is my top word limit for a 20 marker. Okay. I'll reduce it to half. So I'll have 170 words for a 10 marker, and similarly 210 for this your 15 marker. Okay. So this is the way you will decide your word limit, not depending on the marks of the question. तुम जितना लिख पाओगे उसी के हिसाब से डिसाइड करोगे ना. ठीक है. And the specs for this UPSC sheet goes like this is 16 centimeter and this is 26 centimeter. So take any A4 page and draw margins accordingly so that I think it's visible now, I hope. So 16 centimeter wide and 26 centimeter tall. That should be the dimension of your sheet where you are writing. Okay. एक रफ आइडिया लग जाएगा. A4 शीट्स फोल्ड करके रख लेना अपने पास. ठीक है. ये प्रिंटेड बुकलेट्स ले आते, you can do that also. Okay. Then always make sure that whatever topic is going to be covered in the next class, you go through that thoroughly. Okay. Because the subject is new and we have to complete the syllabus in 4 months. Okay. अदरवाइज तो फिर तुम्हारी पंचवर्षीय योजना बन जाएंगी. अच्छा, फर्स्ट, who is not comfortable in Hindi? Anyone who is not comfortable in Hindi, please, a show of hands. Online,
Yes,
you
sir.
can you? Okay, so you are not able even to understand Hindi, or is the issue? You cannot understand also. Okay, what about you? You can understand. Not even a little kunjum kunjum. Where are you from? Tamil Nadu. थोड़ा थोड़ा.
Yes.
चलो, let it. देखो, there is a natural tendency that I switch to my mother tongue. ठीक है? Or sir, when he's teaching, he switches to his mother tongue. So if you're not able to understand, just raise a hand and say that, sir, please switch to English. Okay? We'll try our best that we stick to English only, but कभी कभी बह जाता है इंसान, है ना? Anyway, and the third thing is, if you are having any problem in spelling of any particular word, because there will be many technical terms, you should raise your hand and ask. ठीक है? बाद में पता चलता है आंसर में कुछ का कुछ हो जाता है. This book I just mentioned, Notes and Queries, the queries is about questions. People change it to the queries where you do mining by replacing the E with a A. तो इस तरह की चीजें you better ask the teacher. ठीक है? Other than that, you have mentors. Bharat sir is there. Amnish sir is there. We just recently went through a remodeling of the institute, so you see a little haphazard things here. But in a day or two, things will be fine. So feel free to ask them your doubts. Okay? Both have qualified their mains, appeared in interview. Bharat has exhausted his age, but he is still looking for state services. And in 22 also he appeared in the interview. Okay. Avanish is also preparing, and he gave interview once and wrote mains twice. So he is equally wise. So if you feel uncomfortable approaching sir directly or me directly, वैसे I तो I'm quite a jolly fellow, quite approachable. However you feel. So whoever you feel approachable, you go to them. Get your doubts clarified. That is the first and the foremost thing. Okay? Never ever miss your doubts. Okay? So I have made you clear about the pedagogy that will be going on for the next 4 months. Now let me brief you about how we'll follow the syllabus. Okay? So firstly, we are taking up from point number 2.5, if I'm not wrong, of your institution, of your syllabus. Marriage, family, kinship, economy, polity, religion. All these combined, we call them institutions. Okay? So this will be the first section that we'll be taking. This is quite an easy section, quite interesting also. But there is one advice I want to give you here. There are a lot of social phenomena that we'll be covering in this section. And you will be quite curious for all these phenomena. But if you want to go into the detail, ठीक है, जाओ, but do not include them in your answers. Okay? For those of you who have read the book, there are phenomena like you have ghost marriage, you have woman to woman marriage. So once you hear woman to woman marriage, you automatically think, yeah, this is a homosexual marriage that they are talking about. But it is not. If you are interested in the details, you can talk it out of the class. But if you include all these in the class, so एक marriage ही 6 हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते it will go on. So try to reduce your क्या बोलते हो curiosity. Okay? If you are curious, fine, but try to limit it. This is the place where you have to limit it. Trust in sir that what is taught is sufficient for the exam. If you have curiosity, more than welcome. But it's always ऐसा नहीं है कि we want to kill your curiosity. Just we want to limit it so that you are not भटक नहीं रहे हो. You're not getting misguided. Okay? Then after that, this is quite an easy portion, easy to understand, develops your interest, and you are able to learn answer writing effectively. After that, this will take up the biological portion. Okay, so we'll be starting with fossil evidence. Fossil evidence, then we'll take up primates. After we'll take up biological evolution, then genetics, race, human race, growth, and ecology. Okay, so this is the portion of physical that we'll be taking up. Just to give you a brief of the topic, what these are about. Institutions तो बहुत लोग बोलते रहते हैं, so I think you are familiar with it. Should I give you one line about each so you understand what we are talking about? है ना तो कुछ बोलोगे ना? Yes, okay. Fine. So, in our human society, there are several institutions that are in place for us to function properly as a society. Okay? Amongst them, the first one is marriage. Marriage, you say, the marriage to our institution kaise hua? Marriage is an institution because it pretty much across the world it exists. Okay? And marriage is the main reason behind propagation of the society. Okay? You all know that human offsprings need to be
Can you come again? Actually, your voice is breaking. Marriage is an institution because
marriage is an institution. It is observed everywhere across the world, and it is necessary for propagation of the society. Why? Because when human offspring is born, they need a care for at least first 10 years of their life. And if one of the parents is taking care, the other one will have to work for the survival, hence proving the institution of marriage. Okay. Similarly, family. Family helps you go beyond this one-to-one limitation of a marriage that you have. Okay. So as the multiple marriages happen, a family forms and it grows. And they end up forming kinship bonds. One family marries the other and they end up forming kinship bonds amongst themselves. Okay? So this is kinship. In Hindi, if you translate it, comes out to say bandhutva. Okay? So these are the major social, limited to social aspects only, social institutions. Then you have economy. There are economic institutions like trade. Okay? You have barter. You have reciprocity, these phenomena. You will study them under economy. Then under polity, you will study different groupings that exist across the world. So you have a country as a political grouping. You have a city also as a political grouping. You have a village also as a political grouping. You keep on going smaller. You have a tribe as a political grouping. Okay? Then there are few terms like band, chiefdom. They are also explained. We talk about them. Okay? And then finally, how religion. What is religion? Religion has existed across all the societies that we have studied so far. Why the need of religion is there? How does it differ from marriage? All these things will be studied. Okay. So this is a brief of the institution section. That is fine. Anyone wants to ask anything? Religion is an institution only. I'm telling you what we will study as a part of religion. Why men are stuck to religion? There are different four theories rather there that why religion. Then you compare it with magic, which came first, magic or religion. So we proceed that way. Basically, when anthropology, just let me complete. When we started with anthropology as a discipline, the first institution to be studied was religion only. तो वहीं से शुरुआत होती है. हाँ जी बोलो. Someone was saying.
Sir,
बोलो.
sir, apart from coaching study material, how many other books do we have to buy from market?
देखो, there are 3 books that you have to buy. First is Ember and Ember. Second is Vaids' book. Rather 4, I'll say. Third is this any book on tribals, be it Tribal India or by Nadeem Aslan, or be it Tribal Cultures of India by LP Vidyarthi and Rai. Okay. And the fourth will be nahi, and you will not need to buy any other than that. Fourth book will provide you what is needed. The only book you will be reading from end to end is the Vaids' book, maybe Ember and Ember, to find those unexpected 10 markers. ठीक है ना, जो सो कॉल्ड अनएक्सपेक्टेड क्वेश्चन आजकल कहते हैं ना लोग, ये क्वेश्चन अनएक्सपेक्टेड था, ये क्वेश्चन अनएक्सपेक्टेड था, they are directly from Ember and Ember from the updated boxes section. Anyway, these 3 are the books that you have to buy. Other than that, 4 books are there that you have to refer, and they will be part of your study material. Okay. All the 4 books are out of print, so we'll be providing you with the photocopy for that. Okay. Other than that, a few topics you may have to refer. I have given the entire list in the WhatsApp group, but you need not rush and buy those books. Okay. The relevant pages will be PDF will be shared in the group. Okay. So this is about the social institutions part. This does not mean the social cultural portion has been completed for paper 1. There is a big chunk that is still left, but we jump to biology to keep your momentum and reduce the monotony. Okay. So firstly, we'll talk about fossil evidence. Here we talk about how we discuss about how humans evolved from their ape ancestors. What were the fossils available? What were their time spans? What was the diversity? All that. Then you are aware that we fall under the order primates, under the animal kingdom. Okay. So we compare ourselves with other other subfamilies of the order primate, family, subfamilies, everything. Okay. Then we talk about biological evolution. So अभी यहाँ क्या किया था? Here we talked about specific evolution of humans from apes to Homo sapiens. Here we'll be talking about generic evolution of any species, how any species will evolve. Okay. Then again, genetics is the study of evolution only. And these 3 topics, race, growth, and ecology. Race, human race. When anthropology came into being, back then this concept of race was very prominent, human race. But later it was discarded and only racism exists. But as a part of syllabus, we have to study this. Nowadays, we only refer to race as Mendelian population, never as race. Okay? Then growth. What are the different attributes in a human body, the way they change during your growth period? Right from your being born to till you achieve your full puberty, adolescence. And then ecology. How human body gets adapted to different types of environments, cold, altitude, heat, all these things. Okay. And after that, last is applications. Quite an interesting topic. We'll talk about the applications of anthropology, particularly the biological anthropology. A few interesting examples. Anthropologists are always involved in designing of your spaceships, designing of the furniture after the people return from the space stations. Okay. Even there is a very popular field of computer science these days, if you are aware, user experience. Have you heard the name? If you observe closely, user experience is actually a sub-discipline of anthropology. Okay? And that actually has been my journey into anthropology. I was first a UX expert, US analyst, and later I moved into anthropology. That was my entry point. Okay? So that is also one very common application of anthropology. Okay? After this, we'll come back again to the socio-cultural part. Now we'll be taking introduction, then branches, sub-branches, comparisons, all the topics that are mentioned in your 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, branches, comparisons. Okay. After that, we'll have the basic concepts where you have different concepts like culture, civilization, status, role, all these things. Then we'll take up research methods. Research methods. So different methods through which we conduct anthropological research. There is a questionnaire, there is a group interview, then the most famous one, participant observation, where you go into the society, stay there for at least a year. So all these are there. Then finally, we'll take up thinkers or anthropological thought, anthropological theories, how you want to say that. Did I miss anything? I think we have covered everything in paper 1. So this is the brief of your paper 1. Photo लेंगे? Photo लेना? Better send it in the group. So this is your paper 1 in entirety. Okay. Now we'll move to paper 2. Hanji. Definition of institution. यार देखो institution क्या है? What is an institution? Institutions are basically non-material phenomena that are observed in the society, and they are responsible for integration of society as a whole. अगर देखो इंस्टीट्यूशंस को अगर हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करें, इट्स कॉल्ड संस्थान. संस्थान का काम क्या होता है? लोगों की मदद करना, लोगों को साथ रखना. Similarly, institutions that are social institutions, they have specific purpose, and we'll discuss each in detail.
Established procedure.
Where did I talk about?
Institution to establish procedure.
Not exactly. But the institution established procedure, you are talking in the modern day terms. Here we are talking about the social institutions. You are talking about the governmental or such institutions. Okay? So the difference is there. Okay. Now going to paper 2. First, we'll take up archaeology, or if you write to read between the lines, we covered biological evolution earlier. In archaeology, we cover cultural evolution. Okay? In archaeology, we cover cultural evolution. This will have 2 parts, Indian as well as world. So world archaeology actually is a part of paper 1 as per your syllabus. But to save time and do it effectively, we do both Indian and world archaeology together as a part of paper 2. Okay. Then you will have basic concepts of Indian society. Earlier in paper 1, basic concepts of anthropology were there. Here you have basic concepts of Indian society. Here you will have concepts like Varna, Jati, okay, ashramas. Oh, a lot of concepts you can see. Okay. And then finally, I will be taking a tribal India. There is a series, 3-part series of videos where Sir has elaborated the syllabus. It's called Fresh Look on Anthropology Syllabus and available on our YouTube channel. I'll be sharing that link in the group. I request you all to go through that video. 3-part video is there. It will take you some time. So don't rush into it कि एक बार में सारी देखनी है. Take your time, do it in batches. Okay. So this pretty much covers your entire syllabus. There are a few things that I can go into detail, but it will only increase your curiosity, nothing more. So I want to limit it. Sir. Okay. So a brief of syllabus I gave you, a brief of pedagogy I gave you. Anything you wish to ask, please. It depends. There are 3 ways to make an e-quote. Either you do it in double quotes, that means you are quoting it verbatim. If you are quoting in single quotes, that means you are distorting it little, but you are maintaining the words almost. And then third way is according to this comma you write it, where you just express it. You you do not disturb the essence of the meaning of the quote, but you write in your own words. So there are 3 ways. Okay. Instead of देखो यार quote हर किसी को word by word नहीं याद रहते. ठीक है. The thing that people remember is who said and when said. That is more important. Huh? So make a note of it. Okay, sir is here, so I think he'll be continuing.
Okay. Presently, whatever queries you have, you can ask before I tell you how will you proceed with. नहीं ये क्या बात हुई? Yes, sir. For prelims, you will be needing monthly magazine, either Baba or Vision or Insights. But for mains, अच्छा. Is asking what instead of newspaper you have a magazine. For mains, I told you that whatever we put in our Telegram channel, Vaids ICS official, that's enough. But towards the end, before your mains, you may take any annual. But for prelims, monthly magazine, any of the 3 I told you, Baba, Insights or Vision, half it is worth reading, and again of that half would be covered by us for mains. You have to read only 1/4. But be sure in prelims, unless you are thorough with the mains, don't think about prelims. Fine. So we'll be starting with the topic of marriage. We'll have marriage, family, kinship, economic anthropology, political anthropology, and religion. We'll cover in almost 3 weeks, you can say. You know the topics. When we start our classes, I wish you have gone through. I want you to read twice, but at least once because subject is new, it's better to read twice. Whatever doubts are there, keep noting down separately in a copy. And whatever topic we are going to start with, let us say we'll start with marriage. Class is at 2 o'clock. Between 1:30 and 1:45 that day, you will put in all your doubts on my WhatsApp number. So either most of them we'll be discussing in the lecture itself, and if not, then we'll discuss the doubts first and then we'll start. Fine? To make your job easier, I'll tell you the terminology so that when you read in flow, you can understand the things. In marriage, family, kinship, we have some common terms. One is lineal, then lateral, arcal, and local. Very commonly used everywhere, like patrilineal, patriarchal, patrilateral, patrilocal, that way. Lineal means inheritance and succession. Patrilineal, inheritance in the male line, from father to son to son to son. Matrilineal, inheritance in the female line. Of course, we'll have others also, like we have double descent, inheritance from both sides. We'll have ambilineal, inheritance from either of them, either father or mother. But mainly it will be, and that we'll discuss in kinship. In the chapter of kinship, you will have the explanation to everything. Lineal is inheritance and succession. Lateral means on the side of. Patrilateral, on the side of father, means father's brother, father's sister. Matrilateral, mother's brother, mother's sister. Then you have local. Local means where the couple stay after marriage. Patrilocal. Couple staying with groom's father's family, the way we have conventionally, traditionally. Opposite will be matrilocal. Other also will have auxiliary local, avuncular local, bilocal, all those things. But again, all those are given in the topic of kinship. Then arcal. Archy means authority. You know, monarchy, oligarchy. Similarly, patriarchy. The eldest male is the head, or matriarchy. These are the terms commonly used, and even in your social issues and essay also. Then you have a term which is called ego. Ego means the individual concerned, the person concerned. My father's sister's daughter, ego's father's sister's daughter. Fine? That way. Then in marriage, we will have terms endogamy, and exogamy. Endo means within. Marriage within a defined social unit. For us, we practice caste endogamy. Marriage within a defined social unit. You have to define the unit. Similarly, tribal endogamy is there. And exogamy, marriage outside a defined social unit. Like we have Gotra exogamy, we have lineage exogamy. But these exist within the caste. So exogamy is marriage outside a defined social unit that exists within the endogamous unit. You can have caste exogamy also, but that is prohibited. That is not a rule. Exogamy and exogamy within a caste. Then you have cousin. Who are cousins? Children of same parents are called siblings. Siblings. If they are of same gender, two brothers or two sisters, we call them parallel siblings. If they are of opposite gender, a brother and a sister, we call them cross siblings. And their offsprings are called cousins. Children of siblings are called cousins. Two brothers, their children, parallel cousins because they are of the same gender. A brother and a sister, cross sibling, their children, cross cousin. Accordingly, we have cross cousin marriage, parallel cousin marriage. But here also, if you are marrying your father's brother's daughter, father's brother, it is patrilateral, father's brother and father's sister. So it is patrilateral parallel cousin because two brothers, they are parallel. Similarly, if you are marrying your mother's sister's daughter, mother and mother sister, they are parallel. So matrilateral parallel. If you are marrying your mother's brother's daughter, matrilateral cross. That way terminology will be there. Then we'll have terms levirate and sororate. Levir means groom's brother. Generally, we take it as devar, but it can be jest also. Marrying deceased husband's brother or a man marrying his deceased brother's wife. In this case, marrying wife's sister, sororate. These will be talking under the heading of rules of marriage. Two major categories are prescriptive rules and preferential rules. Prescriptive means you have to or face consequences. Endogamy is a prescription. You have to, or you may be ostracized, thrown out of your caste, or maybe severe punishment. Similarly, exogamy also, you have to marry outside your lineage or gotra. These are prescriptions. Preference means you are expected to. If you don't, then some mild sanctions may be there, not serious sanctions. Cousin marriage and levirate and sororate, they come under that category. So this is the issue of whom you can marry. Then opposite is whom you cannot marry. First thing is you have to marry within the caste. You cannot marry outside the caste. You have to marry outside the gotra. You cannot marry within the gotra. But most importantly, when you say you cannot marry, rather you cannot mate or marry, this is with the very close relation, socially recognized within the nuclear family. Nuclear family means couple and their children. If you mating within the socially recognized very close relations, this we call incest. This we call incest. Mating with socially recognized. Now you have to make a difference between social relations and biological relations. Like in kinship, if I adopt a child, my son or daughter, he is as good as my own son or daughter. Genetically, it won't be. So biologically, we are different. But social recognition, that is the basis of all the relationships. So incest, it is prohibited, it is taboo. So we'll be discussing why incest is a taboo, why incest taboo. That will end our topic of marriage officially But then we will be talking about divorce. Why divorce? Different communities, how divorce is taken. Do you have a better alternative to the way the laws are there? Just in the beginning, I told you that the most important sufferers are women and children. So, whether it is divorce or death of a groom, whatever is there, suffering belongs to women. Everywhere you have compensation, okay, give compensation to. Issue is if a man seeks divorce in the morning, in the evening he gets married. Divorce given to the woman, who is going to marry her? Only somebody who was already married, divorced or spinster or whatever it is. And otherwise also, woman bears children. After having one or two children, the deformation in body that takes place, her beauty, physical beauty is gone. She will never be preferred in marriage. So she has to suffer throughout the life. So there got to be laws in favor of women. It's not that give her 50% property, but man will start earning immediately thereafter. What about the woman? So you have to think in terms of certain laws that give right to the women, the life of dignity. That is important. What kind of laws you have in different religions and what is there in Hindus and what it was in Hindus. That also is very important. You may not be knowing. In India, in Hindus, Sanatanis, previously there was no right of man. The only right was that of Karta, head of the family. All the wealth belonged to him. The moment he died, eldest of the sons would become Karta. And if the brothers decide to split, of course, daughters will also be. Then what happened? The eldest son would get 5% of the total wealth. Younger to that, half of it. Younger to that, half of it. Let us say there are four brothers and one sister. Sister is not getting anything. And rest of the wealth will be divided equally amongst the brothers. And each of the brothers will give 1/4 of his share to the sister. And not only that, there was 6 type of Stridhan. And this belonged to women only. Whether the husband or the son wanted it, they could take it as a loan. She had the right to give to her daughter only. Nowhere in the other communities, in religions, I told you, I mean Abrahamic religions, you don't have this kind of thing. So we'll be talking about what are the difference, that then obviously UCC will come therein. What Modi said yesterday. What are the merits and what are the demerits? Should we have or should we not? We'll talk about it. Then will come family. Most commonly term used is nuclear family. Nuclear family comprises of couple and their unmarried children. Then is extended family. Any extension of we use diagrams also. For men, this is the symbol. For women, this is the symbol. For marriage, we have 2 symbols. And for children, this is the symbol. So if I combine them, then this is your nuclear family. Couple and their unmarried children. And any extension of nuclear family is extended family. Any extension, there may be one addition, one kin, or there may be several families. Any of them. Let us say she is married and the couple is staying here, that becomes extended. So basically we have 2 types of families, but we also discuss what we call joint family. Like we have our joint family and certain rules are there. What is the rules? Firstly, there should be at least 2 nuclear families. Hmm? And these nuclear families must be joined vertically. Means there got to be at least 3 generations. So you have one nuclear family, you have another nuclear family joined vertically. And this joining should be as per the rules of residence. In our case, rule is patrilocal. Means daughters must be married out, brides must be brought in, bride must be brought in, and daughter must be married out. So this will be your joint family of our type. Then we'll discuss what changes are, whether it is universal or not, and what changes are taking place from joint to nuclear. All that debate will be there. In kinship, most of the terms that we use here, we'll be using those terms. Then in economy, one term is formalism, formalis. One is formalis and one is substantives. When we study economy, obviously the issue is economy should be left to economists. So whatever are the principles in economics, those should be employed. We call them formalists. But then there are anthropologists, like in our case. Do you have that kind of economy? We have very large extended kinship. Economy doesn't belong to a nuclear family. There is a whole system. Say, for example, I ask you one thing. After the class, you call your father and tell him, Papa, I want to change the institute. I didn't like the way sir was teaching at Vaids. So I want to join another one. So give me another dose of fee. What will be the reaction of your father? He'll chide you, castigate you for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then he'll say, I don't have spare money for you people to waste. Then you call your mama. He is not going to ask you. He'll ask you, okay, bete, send me your account. I'll send the money. Where is the economy there? What is the meaning of mama? Mother's brother. Mama means twice mother. Somebody who loves you more than mother does. And if he does not, then you call him Kas mama or Shakni mama kind of thing. So where is the economy here? It is social relations that decide. So we'll be discussing the debate about then how anthropology can be useful to economics also. And then we'll discuss economy, two types of economy. One we call primitive economy, the economy of simple societies. Actually, we have been calling them primitive societies. But when we use the term primitive, it seems as if they are very remote, isolated on the past, but they are living today also, contemporary. So we don't call them primitive societies. We call them simple societies because their economy is very simple. That we'll understand in the substantive sphere. And then you have modern industrial economy, the economy of the West. And what is the difference in these two types of words? We have very interesting quote that you can use in essay also, social issues also, of course in anthro. There's been an anthropologist called Sahlins. He said, money is to West what kinship is to the rest. Whatever is the importance of money in the Western world, the same importance we have in rest of the world. And then we'll discuss in economy, production is there, exchanges are there. Exchanges, there are rules of exchange, reciprocity is there, redistribution is there, market and trade is there. And we'll discuss market in the tribals also. And then we'll discuss political anthropology. In political anthropology, Why we study? Again, you have political scientists. Here you had economists. So why should anthropologists study? We'll talk about hmm, whether political science scientists can or cannot. And then we'll talk about what is the difference between state and stateless organizations. Stateless, like panchayats are there, traditional panchayats. Hmm? A state is a society where social order is maintained by force or possibility of force. Where state is there, you have courts, you have judges, you have lawyers, you have military, you have paramilitary, you have police. The rule is enforced through danda. In stateless societies like panchayats, if they say, okay, hukka pani ban, we throw you out of the community, there is no police, but the person is thrown out. So differences between the two. And then we'll talk about how law and order is maintained in different types of societies. Now, all these issues, these are social issues also. You have to cover in social issues. And most of the answer will remain. The only thing in social issues and anthropology is that here you will be quoting the anthropologists. But in general studies, quotes from optionals have not to be there unless these are very common. Hmm? Then we have a topic that you call religion. All of you must be religious people. But if I ask you what is religion, you may not be able to tell. Various theories are there about the origin of religion and relevance of religion. Like first theory that we'll talk about, it is called animism. Anima means soul, belief in soul. Simple manner. Anthropology will call belief in the anthropomorphic supernatural beings. Anthropo means human, morph means appearance. Then we'll talk about another theory that is animatism. Hmm? There will be also talking about impact in Hinduism. We have concept of soul in Hinduism. Best example is Shraddha. You invoke your ancestors. Animatism. This is believing in a power, say a single power that is transferable. Like water of Ganga Jal, you can say. Purity is transferred to you, you become pure that way. Then we have a theory that we call totemism. A totem is a plant, an animal, a bird, or a natural object with which you establish a particular type of relationship. And then another theory is their psychofunctional theory. We'll be talking about these, and we'll also be talking about difference between religion, magic, and science. Hmm? So when we meet on Thursday, I'll give you all the questions that you have to prepare. But before that, Antim sir will make the groups, or he'll make the groups that day only. On the day when you have a Thursday, by Thursday evening, the ज़्यादा गैप हो जाएगा. आज क्या तारीख है? पूछ रहे लोगों से. Should you have it on Thursday or Saturday? You have to read twice. Whatever doubts are there, first way to prepare is do not postpone the doubts. Fine? Because subject is new. Initially, even the language will seem Greek or Latin at some places. Fine? And then one thing is here, we have class on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The batch that we started in June, after a week or so, we have informal group also. So in an informal group, the discussion was going on that 3 days less, let us increase the number. So I discussed with the students. Some agreed, some disagreed. I told, okay, I don't mind, let us have 5 days or 6 days a week. But then the way it is going on, the way coaching is there, if you are not able to write answers, it's not my fault. Finally, they agreed, okay, we'll have 3 days. But the moment physical started, they wanted a break of a class. Instead of having 3 classes, we had 2. Backlog has not to be there. Syllabus can be finished anytime. But once answer writing stops, the preparation stops. What I expect from you, the day we finish our classes, you will have another month to complete your backlog. And if you don't, then come to me after the prelim result is out when you have qualified through the prelims. Getting into civil services, I think that is the easiest way. You need only 2 things. One is consistency, and second is motivation level. And both these things are difficult actually. Keeping consistency is also difficult, and keeping yourself motivation is also difficult. But if you can, then things are not difficult at all. Fine. You can interact with me, with Antim sir, with the counselors, anytime you feel like. I wish the day you have a class, institute opens at 7 and closes at 9 in the evening. Throughout, you stay here and prepare the same day. You can ask for your lunch here only. And rest of the time, you can give to GS also. But there are 5 topics when you have to fully devote to Anthro. And these 5 topics are fossils, primates, evolution, biological evolution, genetics, and in a separate one is archaeology. This one full month you have to, archaeology will be taking paper too, but as a whole it takes one full month, these 5 topics. Slightly difficult to understand, but the best thing is in social aspects, whether it's tribal or other parts in and social, understanding is easy. Difficult is how to write it. And particularly because most of you have technical background, you never wrote, you wrote in symbols, you wrote in bullets. It is a journalistic exam. So devote some time to learning English also. The grammar that you must have forgotten. Rand and Martin, read it 10 times. Vocabulary you can keep adding gradually. But language is most crucial. Fine? And then one thing which is very crucial, after you go from here, mug up any 400 to 500 words. Anything, maybe a newspaper article, 400 to 500 words, and then write with your full speed. Why? Because you have to decide your word limit and time limit in writing answers. A 10 marker you have to write in 7 minutes. A 15 marker you have to write in 11 minutes. A 20 marker you have to write in 15 minutes. So when you finish your answer writing and when you start concentrating on general studies, I wish that every day give just 1 hour to Anthro, mugging up one answer. If you do not remember by heart, you cannot write more than 3.5 answers in the exam. To save time, you must know at least 3 answers by heart. That will save your time. So first thing, decide your word limit. Let us say in 7 minutes you can write say 150 words. So that is your word limit. Somebody may be able to write 200 words. That is his or her word limit. Don't bother about the words. Bother about the time. How much time you give. And that will decide in your GS also. Fine? कुछ और कहना है? How many of you do not understand Hindi? Online people, offline also. Where are you from? Tamil Nadu. Why Tamilians don't understand Hindi? You have a second language in the school. Previously it was there, but still people would forget after fifth. Hmm? I was in Chennai once, and in the bus, nobody was going to respond, not your conductor or the thing. Then I abused, and that he understood. Hmm? You know, while you are in this part of the country, you have a chance. Language always pays. Hmm? So try to learn kunjum kunjum, that everybody knows knowing. Huh? Language is always necessary. Online people, you are from? Andhra people know very well. You are from? Nellore. Achha. Chalo, again kunjum kunjum. They also have kunjum kunjum. So many of the words can be common also. Huh? But I told you, language is always an asset. Hmm? Ah, Antim sir told me about dress code. Boys are not supposed to have capri and also the banyan. What you call t-shirt, I call it banyan. Anything without collar, you are not welcome. And if you insist, you sit at the back. And girls must not have sleeveless. Hmm? Any objection? You know, boss is always right. Right? Huh? You read the Archie's rules? Archie's list is there, rule 10, 10 rules are there. Number 9 is boss is always right. Rule 10 is if boss is wrong, look at rule 9. Hmm? And this is what we had to communicate today. If you have anything to say, you keep saying throughout classes also. Hmm? Anything that you feel good or bad, you can tell Antim sir. If you think I'm too old to listen to, I'll be 70 in a few months. Hmm? I think maybe more than your grandfather's age. Hmm? But still, there is a शेर by बशीर बद्र. मुझे थकने नहीं देते ये उम्मीदों के पहाड़, मेरे बच्चे मुझे बूढ़ा नहीं होने देते. Hmm? So that is the state of affairs with me. So we are having Thursday or Saturday? Thursday? So be ready. Now onwards, even if you are appearing in 26, you think that countdown has started. If you don't want to read, don't read. Heavens are not going to fall. But if you are, you have to be sincere. If you think that without reading is going too far, then start listening to the videos. Online people, we will be having a repeat class on Sunday for all the three. But offline people, they can sit here and watch. They can watch. That is an asset. Hmm? Again, the rule is the same. Don't postpone your problems. Fine. So all the best. And 26 should be the year when we should have. I wish everybody gets through, but only those who work hard will. Fine. Never think that you will understand fully and then you will start writing. Right from day one, start. You told them about the groups. Groups. Fine. Anything else if you want me to add? Anybody? Did we have a class? It was entertainment. Hmm? This will be uploaded in the app. You can watch again if you think anything, because the terminology I didn't stop you people to note down, so you can watch it on the app. And you can note down also tomorrow evening. Fine. God bless you all.